Is this thing on? What is going on, everybody? It is Fitzmiller in the Skyline, back here with another video. Now, if you saw my update on the community section of my YouTube channel, one of the upcoming videos was how I got a Skyline at 19 and how you guys can too. So I'm going to walk you through the steps of just a little bit how I discovered this car, and a little bit before that, before I even knew I wanted a Skyline. This starts way back, way back, when I still had the BMW, right? And I had the Bazireas on it, whichever way you say it, and they would not seal. I tried resealing all of them like twice. I tried new valve stems, I tried new tires, pretty much everything but rebuilding the wheel. I was at a point where I just did not want to mess with them anymore, spend any more money, put any more money into those wheels. I was done with them. So I took them off my car, put those up for sale, and saw my car on stock wheels. I was like, you know what? I want a new freaking car. I had always been into the idea of owning a Skyline. Never thought it would come so soon. Literally 2 months after I first thought that, I went to Florida and picked it up, but more on that in a minute. I started looking every day once I decided I want a Skyline. I looked every day for 2 months straight. Japanese classics, the shop in South Carolina, more shops in Virginia, shops in Florida, shops in Texas, California, and then up north, like center United States, I forgot. Import shops, import places from Canada. I looked every day and they were too expensive, man. They were like $16,000, $17,000, $18,000 for a GTST. And that's not what I wanted. I wanted a car that I know I was going to modify. I didn't want it to be a perfect looking show car or anything like that. I was looking literally every day, like hours a day. Saw on HP Imports, HP Logic, if you guys watch Rise Miata, their shop, Jack's shop, and turns out they do imports as well. Saw this thing listed, and I'm going to be straight up with you guys about the financial side of owning a Skyline. This car was listed at $14,500, $14,600, something like that, and that was just a little out of budget, right? I didn't have $14,000 cash to take to the dealership to buy a Skyline. What I did is I went into my bank, I asked, hey, what are the oldest years of cars that you guys can give out vehicle loans for? They said 10 years. I was like, whoa, what are we gonna do? Because this thing's 28, 29 years old. I ended up getting a personal loan. And if you guys don't know the difference between a vehicle loan and a personal loan, a vehicle loan has a lower interest rate of, I think it was 3.5% to 4% interest. And then a personal loan has 10.75%, at least mine personally from my bank. So I went in, they reviewed my checks, not my checks, but my payment I get each month from Advance, and they said, you're approved for X amount of a loan. So I don't remember exactly how much I took out for a loan and how much exactly I took from cash, from selling the wheels, doing side jobs, savings, anything I just named. I think it was $6,500 cash, and I needed a loan for $7,500. You go in and you say, hey, I need to make I think it was a certified banker's check is what they called it. But you take money from your savings, you take that loan, and you get one big cash check of $14,000. That was the price I ended up paying for this car. They said there was a little rust work that needed to be done. If you didn't want that done, I could take that $500 off or $600 off. I said, hell yeah, that would let me get this car. After getting approved for the loan, literally I think it was a day or a couple days before I went to Florida, said, hey, you know what, it's time, let me get this check. So they write you this check, you sign on how much you want to pay each month to pay off that loan over the next couple of years. I wanted my payment to be around $200 a month, and it's like $201 a month, something like that. Every month I paid $200 towards this car. Since a personal loan does have a lot of interest, since I'm paying 10% of that loan back to the bank for their profit, I have chosen to pay this loan off a lot faster than the $200 a month. So I'll go in some months $300, $400, or if things are tighter that month, I'll just pay the $200. Either way, I'm paying off my personal loan a lot faster than my scheduled time. One, that's allowed me to get a Skyline. Two, I'm not gonna have to pay it off for that long. and 3, I was approved for that amount each month. That is the financial side on how to get a $14,000 car, $14,000 trailer, truck, anything really, if you can't get a vehicle loan on it. From there, it was pretty easy. I had emailed back and forth with Roberto for probably a couple weeks, just asking him every question about this car. I got some of the information from Japan on the mileage, the accident reports, stuff like that, kind of like a Japanese Carfax. Back to, I think it was like 2010 or something, but they didn't have anything before that. My main concern was, did it run and drive? Did it run and drive great? I had him compression test the car, which he did. They all came out perfect. Maybe, you know, a little bit of variance between each cylinder. Nothing big enough or even close to big enough to make the engine run worse. While he did the compression test, he put new spark plugs in it, and then along with the new spark plugs, he tossed new battery in the car. He took it out of the warehouse for the couple days before us flying down to Florida, and he drove it every day to make sure it was fine. He fixed a little ABS fuse, a little switch I had to switch between four-wheel and rear wheel. He fixed that, and I don't really remember what else he did. Maybe just a couple other little things. He didn't, you know, paint correction or anything like that. From there, I talked to my mom. I was like, hey, like it's go time. Like let's book some flights. So she helped me. My dad was very insistent that I paid for the flight, which was fine. It was a super cheap flight. It's like 2 hours. Flew down to Florida. Roberto picked us up from the airport, went back, and since we had already agreed on the price of $14,000, I was freaking out the whole time. The whole time. It made the coolest noises, the turbo noises, the exhaust, everything was insane to see in person after all the videos I've seen of this car. Test drove it literally 10 minutes, and my buddy Carmelo told me whenever you test drive a car, you want to absolutely romp on it to make sure that it's okay. Me, being the second time I've ever driven a right-hand drive car, romped on it a little bit, enough to tell if something was gonna break, and it was absolutely fine. Went back inside, signed the papers, literally took 10 minutes or so. My mom and I were on our way back to North Carolina. It was absolutely terrifying, buying a car sight unseen before the test drive and getting ready to drive 13 hours home. We ended up stopping for gas every 2 hours or so. I think I got 200 to 250 miles a tank. Highway driving, I think it was closer to 250. We stopped every 2 hours. I didn't really want to let my mom drive, nothing against her. I was just super excited to drive this car that I just, you know, saved up, worked for the past couple of years of savings, and committed to getting. And here it was in my hands. It was such an amazing feeling to go and hand them the check, sign the paperwork, and drive out. We saw a sign that said Jacksonville, Florida, 150 miles away. I was like, you have to be kidding. Like, we've already been driving for like 3 hours, you know? Anyways, we stopped every 2 hours for gas, every couple hours for food or whatever, and she did great. She did great absolutely the whole way back. It rained a little bit, got looks from every single person on the way back. I was every couple minutes because it was so fun. So I pulled in the driveway. I think Spencer came over that night that I got it. Damn, that was like a year ago from when this video goes up. When this video goes up on Friday, which should be the 21st, the 22nd, tomorrow, is the day that I got the Skyline. That's funny. It's actually been a year of ownership, and I can do a whole nother video on that, which I'd be more than happy to do. But anyways, brought it home. Spencer's coming over, took it around the neighborhood. It was like 1 in the morning. Right, we drove from 12 in the afternoon till 1 in the morning. Didn't have music. We had like a little Bluetooth speaker in our phones and that, but I was stoked. I was beyond happy to drive this car 13 hours. Like, yes, it was a hell of a drive, but it was one of my favorite drives so far to date. The rest is history. I've driven it on and off for the past literally 12 months, the last year, and I've absolutely loved every second of owning this car. Now to the big part for you guys. If you've made it this far, you've obviously really interested on how I got mine and how you can get one too. So if you have any questions about the whole process, anything I forgot to explain, anything you didn't understand, leave it down in the comment section below, and let's have a conversation, and let's get you into a Skyline or JDM vehicle of your choice. And now I wish I was saying that like it was a giveaway. Maybe a couple years down the road I'll be able to do a cool giveaway, build a car and Evan Shanks style, build it and give it away. Anyways guys, this has been Fitzmiller. and the Skyline, back here with another video. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, check out the merch down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.